Hello, good day, beautiful people. I am the Inspirational Lady Noble 365 Tarot. Welcome to my channel. I greatly appreciate you being here. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. I trust you will love this vibe. And everything you need to know about me is in the description below. This can be past, present, or future, you or someone around you. So take what resonates and leave the rest for someone else. This is a general read. This is not a personal read, okay? And if you like a personal read, check out the description below. Okay, tarot is a tool. It is not the final rule, and it's a good idea to have an empty cup when you are on Lady Noble's channel and you really want to see what's up. Okay, all are welcome in here are here, and all contributions are highly appreciated. As you see, I have the divination board out today, and we're going to do one question, one answer. But before we get started, as usual, we're going to do 2 deep breaths in through the nose, out through the mouth, and hold for 3 seconds. So let's breathe in, release. Breathe in, release. Now gently take some time to consider the question you would like to ask the divination board or spirit, okay? Okay, now we'll begin to swing the pendulum. Okay, collective. The consistency that I have is May, November, Sagittarius, Scorpio, 4, 5, Wednesday, Saturday, the letters M and N, and Gemini and unknown. Once again, the consistency that I have collective is November, May, Sagittarius, Scorpio, the numbers 4 and 5, Saturday, unknown, Wednesday, the letter N, May, and Gemini. Take those into account according to the question that you asked, okay? And we're going to tap into the tarot here. Thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. Okay. Thank you for your contribution. One second, ladies and gentlemen. The first card we have here, we have Scorpio energy. We have the Death card in the upright. This energy here, collective, is the energy of something needing to come to a halt or a stop. I'm picking up there's some kind of friction or quarreling between two people. I'm seeing two people having a lot of moments of being in disagreements, not able to see eye to eye, not able to get along for some reason or another. Okay. This could be a family member, a friend, a lover, an associate, someone at work, someone on your job. And so there's some kind of consistent friction that is taking place. You don't get along with this person. You're not even able to be cordial with this person, you know. We don't have to go along to get along, but there are some circumstances where you are to at least be simply cordial. And I'm picking up you're not even able to be cordial with this person. You find yourself just bumping heads with them. There's always a problem. There's always an issue. If this is on the job, I'm picking up that the energy has been increasingly intense. You have tried to keep the situation to a minimum, but this is someone who gets a joy out of creating a scene and who also wants to deliberately escalate some kind of turmoil with you. If this is not on the job, this could be a family member, this could be a friend or associate, someone in a friend group or a friend circle that you hang around, or someone's home that you go to consistently. This could be a best friend of yours. Maybe they have a family member or someone who visits their home just as well as you do, but you don't get along with this person. And so, Spirit is saying, for you to be mindful. There are many reasons why you and this person may not get along, but there's no reason for you to want to figure it out. It's a good idea, source is saying, to simply stop showing up wherever this person is, because trust and believe, if the arguments and disagreements are starting to increase, becoming more confrontational, the person throwing threats, wanting to be violent with you, when it's getting past a yelling and screaming match and it turns physical or confrontational to a possible altercation where someone could get hurt. Spirit is saying, be mindful that the energy that this person is harvesting and their reason for being angry with you, there's more than what meets the eye. So there's more going on, possibly collective, behind your back. There could be gossip going on, rumors and lies. This may be one person who is expressing that they don't like you and maybe trying to create confrontation with you. But in reality, unbeknownst to you, your whole friend circle or your family member or other co-workers could be possibly involved in one way or another. So Spirit is saying, if possible, do not show up to any gatherings or invites where you know this person is going to be. It's not about being afraid, but it's about being wise and using your intelligence, to protect your peace as well as your freedom. Okay, Spirit is saying you don't want to be forced to defend yourself and end up in a situation that you cannot turn back from. Okay, with the star card here in the upright, there's an energy of, there are people possibly that you're hanging around, collective, who feel that you withhold some kind of star energy. Maybe you receive comments like, oh, why are you so fancy? Or why are you dressed up today? Or why are you wearing lipstick? Or I see you got your hair done. Or you may receive comments, not compliments, but comments as such, as if there's something uh, special going on, or you don't have a right to look nice or take pride in your appearance. Those are really backhanded, hindsighted insults when people say those things. Why are you so fancy? Or why are you wearing makeup? People are doing what they want to do. It's just that plain and simple, nothing more or less. But when a person asks you something like that, they are revealing who they are, and they are also revealing how how much the lights aren't on upstairs. I'll put it like that. Be mindful of my words here. And so you may be someone who naturally allures attention towards you, whether you are a male or a female. You could be a guy who loves to dress and look nice. You're that friend in the group. When you show up, you put that thing on every day. And, you look good. You take care of yourself. You smell good. You're very neat in your appearance and your aesthetics. And it's not that you're being competitive. This is your natural energy. You love yourself. It's not that you're trying to compete, and you can't help if this star tends to glare in people's eyesight when they see you. And so that's what it is. There are people who feel inferior, but they feel inferior because this is their own perception of people outside of them, and it's about the perception of themselves. So Spirit is saying clearly, this is about a person or a group of people who possibly could have low self-esteem, or they're not as confident as you are. And so rather than work on increasing their confidence, they rather project onto you, collective, and accuse you of being arrogant or haughty, or you think you're better than us, or maybe, like I said, maybe you show up dressed looking real nice, and instead of complimenting what you're wearing or simply say nothing at all, they rather try to say something to make you the center of attention, trying to switch the narrative, as if they're trying to embarrass you or create some sort of scene. Okay, these are people who have low self-esteem and they feel insufficient within themselves. And so because they're spiritually disheveled, these are the type of people who are likely to consistently project onto people outside of them. These are people who also could have a reputation of not being able to maintain friendships or romantic connections because of this behavior. Envious, being jealous, being insecure, that is something that will show itself even if you try to suppress it. And so, with the king of swords here, this energy here is you, expressing your truth and expressing your mental power. You're very intelligent, you're very confident. The way you carry yourself, collective, you present yourself in a way that people know where you stand. They know that you love yourself. They know that you care about you. And it's not about what you have, it's how you take care of who you are. And you're someone who takes pride in that. When it comes to appearance, when it comes to hygiene, doesn't matter what kind of vehicle you drive. Maybe every time they see it, it's clean, it's polished inside and out. You're not riding around in a car with trash. To each his own. If that's something you do, do you? Okay, but we're speaking about the collective right now. Okay, so you care, you're grateful and very appreciative of what you have as well. And that is something that the divine loves when someone is grateful for what they have. You're not someone to sit up and complain and have pity parties. You're someone who takes what's around you and what you're given each and every day and you make the best of it. And that's why with the sun card here, that's why people, when they see you, I have to cover this up, they see that glare there, and the sun energy is confirming that, and it's not all about the money, but you could be someone who's also financially secure, or the group looks at you, or your family members look at you, or your co-workers are looking at you as you're the one who has it all together. When in reality, no one is perfect, but we can work towards enhancing our life and our situation. So the sun is confirming the glare that people see when they see you, collective, and it causes an intimidation. It causes envy and jealousy. Instead of being inspired by the glare that hits their eyes when they see you. And also I'm picking up when they hear people speak of you. So even when someone speaks of you and you're not present, this glare appears. This glare is there. It's an energetic thing. Someone could be becoming frustrated with hearing people talk about you. And so maybe someone is speaking well about you behind your back. This could be management. This could be other family members. This could be friends or associates saying positive things. And when this person hears this, it disturbs their energy. It shakes up their shadow side. Okay. And so, with the Seven of Wands, you are someone who believes in protecting yourself. This is something you could have noticed, but you have been brushing it off. But Spirit is saying it's time for you to pick and choose because there's more going on. If this one person is attacking you, there is something going on with them personally. But I'm also picking up there could be someone else, one, two, or maybe three people in this group, family members or co-workers, people on the job, people in your personal life, who are intriguing this person to be saturated with iniquity, with this hatred towards you. Okay. And this is unwarranted. I'm not picking up that you're doing anything to provoke. This is how people feel about themselves and they don't feel good about them. So they're projecting it onto others clearly. Okay. All right. And so, with the gate here, they're looking at you as someone who always you're giving opportunities. Okay. And you may say, hey, I work for what I have. I work for it and I earn it. No one's giving me anything. Well, they don't see it that way. And they don't see it that way because they're not you and they're not supposed to see it. What is for you is for you. And in life, when you come across people whom choose to be negative or toxic in your life, the best thing you can do is sever ties and leave them that way, because we can't control them. We can only control ourselves. And if we don't want to forcefully allow people to inflict stagnation in our life or try to taint our energy, you want to make sure you're constantly removing yourself from the negative energy, from those who are haters, naysayers, those who are in lack mindset and lack mentality. You want to make sure that you're moving forward. And as I always remind the collective, you don't have to announce your arrival or your departure. You simply have free will to move forward, okay? And so that's what it is. No matter who you are or what you feel, you are a confident person, but you may be saying, well, look, my life is not perfect. I'm working on some things, collective. It does not matter. There are people who will envy your contentment. They will envy your peace. You could also be someone who's very independent. There are people who are reliant on others who envy independent people. They become very upset because they've chosen to spend their life feeling like they have to be reliant on someone else. And when they see someone doing it by themselves, it rattles their shadow side. It shakes up, it stirs their demons within inside them, and it makes them reflect on their own life and how they feel and how they choose to judge. And they think to themselves, trust and believe collective, like, wow, all this time I've been thinking and believing one way, and I'm finding out it's not the truth. I'm finding out it's all a lie. And so you could be someone who is independent. Maybe you have a lot of friends or associates who could be in relationships, who could be married, okay? But I'm picking up there are a lot of them who are not happily married, okay? And they could put on, a front, whether it's posting pictures on social media, whether it's just pretending in front of people. There could be a lot of these couples in this friend group that you have, not for everybody, for some people, are they're just not happy. They're really miserable, and they're really pretending, uh, you know. And so instead of fixing their relationship and just confiding in each other, or going to the divine, or getting some counseling, or figuring out what they want, they rather project onto the connections that are around them. Okay, because this may be someone who has been brought up that you must be married or else, or this could be people who are married due to traditional beliefs or thinking. And there's nothing wrong with following that. If you want to follow a trend or a belief system, there is nothing wrong with that. But these are people who have chosen a particular path, and they just may not be happy for whatever reason, whether it's financially, whether it's attraction, whether they feel that they're just not ready to be committed, or maybe they can't cope with the responsibility that marriage may come with, or being in a committed relationship as well. There may be a friend or two who isn't married, and maybe they just have a living spouse. Either way, you could be the single friend collective out of the group. Not for all, but this portion is for someone. And they're looking at you like, wait a minute, you're single, but you're coming off as very independent, and you're coming off as happy. How is it that you're happy? This is what they're thinking about you. And you haven't done anything wrong. You're simply just being yourself. They're in a relationship, whether they're married or not, but they're looking at you like, how is it that you're happy? Oh, I see. You have freedom. Oh, or you could be a single parent, who's not in a relationship, but the friends around you who are in a two-parent household raising their children, and they could be looking at you this way. So put the parts of the reading where it resonates for you. Oh, how you're a single parent, and you're managing to find joy. Oh, how dare you find joy and happiness? Oh, I was brought up and I was taught that I must have a companion. I must marry by a certain age. I must do this. I must do that. And if not, my life will be miserable. But see, looking at you, it's like pulling, the lies from their beneath their feet. It's like pulling a rug of lies from beneath their feet. Your friend group, these family members or coworkers, looking at you is making them open their eyes. It's making them basically have some sort of awakening, confirmation with the horn in the background. And it's quite difficult, when you've signed a contract and you've agreed to be in a situation with the expectations that your desires will never change. And because of traditional beliefs and thinking, you end up being miserable and unhappy. And you spend your whole life this way because you're in this relationship that you're told that you can't break from for whatever reason. It could be a belief system. It could be something traditional within your lineage. It can just be fear by itself. But they're witnessing you. You're that one out the group who your life is different. They're not bad people, and you're not a bad person, but you're just different. Okay. And your energy, just as loud as this horn is increasing, it's very powerful. As I told you, when they see you, they see the glare. You're like a bright glare on a sunny day, and you forgot your sunglasses. And the forecast said there's going to be sun shining all day long. So every time they are around you or they hear your name, you are shaking the room. Papa Smoke. Check that song out. I better shake the room. That's my jam. hmm Good song to work out to also if you're in an exercise. Good song to work out to. But that's what it is, we're having a large, massive dose of reality worldwide each and every day as we move forward. We're receiving a lot of truths about what we thought was one way. We're finding out that it's not real. We're finding out that we've been investing our time in spaces and places for no reason. Okay, and so that's what it is, collective. You are like an awakening to these people. You're like a catalyst. Your energy and your aura is shake-ish up. And you're doing it without doing anything. You're just being yourself. And you may have been in some situations where you just question yourself like, wait a minute. Now I know darn well I'm minding my business. What is the problem? Spirit is saying it is your gift. You have the gift of being a catalyst. Many of us do in one way or another. Not all of us, but many of us do. And sometimes, from time to time, we are, we come through contractual agreement. We agree to come through particular lineage and be born into a particular family to be a catalyst of change, as well as you can be placed in environments around total strangers, whether you know them or not, for them to observe you, for you to cross their path and for them to cross yours for one reason or another. But depending if you are aware, if you are, grounded in working on thyself, so you will be able to recognize these things and you won't feel like, something ain't right, but I can't put my finger on it. Something about this person ain't right, but I can't put my finger on it. Actually, a good example of what I'm speaking of, collective, would be when you hear someone say, and I know you've heard it, people have been saying this for years, I don't like them. Why you don't like them? You don't even know them. I just don't like them. I just don't like them. And you look at that person like, huh? How you gonna not like somebody you don't know? It's the energy, it's the aura. That person's energy and aura is sending a reflection. It is magnifying something that needs to be addressed. It is magnifying unresolved issues, drama, pain, hatred, envy, jealousy, lack mentality. It's sending, it's magnifying it. It's sending a signal and alarm. Just that person stepping into the room, a total stranger who knows no one there. And you will hear a person and you'll be like, how can you not like somebody you don't know? And they will tell you, they will repeat it. I don't know why, I just don't like them. And this could be a male, a female, saying it or walking in the room, okay, as the catalyst, or vice versa. They don't know why because they are there for a reason. And if you're the one saying, I just don't know why, I just don't like them, you're the one who needs to reflect. There is something within you, some sort of instability or conflict that needs to be addressed in order for change to occur in your life. You could be seeing the number five. You could be seeing number 555. You could be seeing a lot of fives. Okay? So that's what that is. And so this is something, you're not doing anything wrong, so don't dare change who you are. But when you find friction that you don't want to deal with, and you have an option of not being around a particular group of people or a person, Spirit is saying, feel free by all means. Self preservation. Okay? Self preservation. All right? You do not have to deal, interact, or socialize. Family, friend does not matter, but that's what it is, and that's why you have had these experiences, possibly from a small child throughout your adulthood, and you wondering what it is. It's envy, it's jealousy, but you have the energy of the catalyst of change. It's a gift. It's a gift you were given, and it can be activated, and you can be placed and sent in different spaces and places to create this catalyst of change or to remind someone of something. Energy is real, and spirit is just that deep, and God is just that deep, and the ancestors are just that good. You know, when people ask for change and they're trying to manifest and create things in their life, it doesn't arrive the way we want it to arrive. Humanly speaking, they don't define, and things aren't going to be arriving in your life the way you want it. You may want it to come with a pretty red bowl and white box, with some flowers, no, it will arrive, but just not the way you expect it. Okay. And so we all have a gift. We all matter. We all have value, but we all have different paths and missions and jobs to do here on planet Earth. We are supposed to be different. We all are individually, uniquely, divinely created, and we're supposed to be different. That's how we learn. That's how we expand. That's how we ascend. That's how we grow. That's how we elevate. So it's wonderful to be unique, to be different, especially to not be a follower, to stand in your authenticity, to not lead your life out of fear. Because at the end of the day, in the beginning of the day, no matter who you are, it is what it is. It is what it is. And so these people are people who they harness a lot of fear, not only resentment for the things and the issue and the conflict that's within them, and it makes them feel insufficient. It makes them feel insufficient. It's not that they are insufficient. They feel this way collective about themselves. It's not you showing up wearing those nice clothes or that nice cologne or that body spray, or you got a nice haircut, or you just upgrade the car, or it's not that. Is that your actions are reminding people of unresolved conflict that resides inside of them, leaving them feeling a void, leaving them feeling empty day after day. And there are so many who don't want to do the work. And because we have free will, they will move forward in their life. And they'll spend their lives, I brought this up before, going around projecting negative energy. I brought it up yesterday, the supervisor or the person in management who's very nasty towards everybody. Every time he or she come to work, they griping at everybody. Don't assume, don't be, look, don't be fooled. Don't let nobody fool you, collective. Okay? Don't assume because a person is given a badge or a name that they are in that position and it means that they are perfect. Okay. A person could be a CEO, an entrepreneur, a millionaire, whatever you deem to be more superior, and still have some unresolved issues. We are constantly, it's about levels here, growing and learning. So don't assume because, oh, they're the supervisor, they're CEO, everything is perfect. They don't have no issues. No, 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 no. Often people are able to comfort themselves and saturate themselves, throw their head into their work or their business and push off and avoid and decline doing the healing, decline surrendering the pain or negative imprints that have been left on their spirit or their soul or things they have experienced in their childhood. Don't be fooled. Don't think because oh, they own 50 houses, they're a millionaire, oh, they went to Bahamas and then they went to Hawaii. That does not mean anything. Everyone has their own pot of gumbo. you know Life is about duality: the good, the bad, the happy, the sad. And no one is perfect and none of us have it all together. We all have something that we're dealing with or coping with that we're not happy about or we desire to change. You'll always have that pot of gumbo. That's my analogy. I've been using that for years. And I use gumbo because there's so many different kinds, and gumbo has a lot of ingredients, okay? And yes, I'm a foodie, so, and I have a sense of humor. So that's what that is. And like I stated, it doesn't mean that these are terrible, terrible people. These are just people that you need not to vibe with because they're not on your frequency. And it can be risky and dangerous when we assert ourselves around people whom we don't belong. With the Six of Cups here, some of these people you may have grown up with, some of these people you may have went to school with. You may have some old loves, maybe somebody you dated in high school or and you kept in touch throughout your adulthood. And sometimes every now and then they pull up, and they beat up, eat up, whatever you do with each other. But either way, there comes a time where you have to surrender certain energy. Not everybody, not all the time, but when it's not on your vibration, it's not of your vibe, of your tribe, it's not for your highest good, it's best to be willing to fall back. Be willing to do that. And that's not with everybody, but in this situation here, you know, uh, they're irritated. These people are like irritated. And what Spirit is saying, what's the sense of you asserting yourself? And then, it turns into a situation that you may regret. Or you start to slowly but surely dim your light. I love examples. You keep changing and changing and changing and changing and changing and changing. Then you just keep changing. And before you look up, you ain't even who you used to be. You know, you're not even working on your dreams, your goals, your aspirations. You're not working towards none of those things because you allowed yourself to continue to be in these connections that are unhealthy for you, or you allowed yourself to be in a marriage or something or a relationship that's unhealthy for you, or you allowed yourself to stay, you're on this job, but for some reason, you keep getting invites from this coworker to show up at their house on Friday night or Saturday night, and when you get there, you're spatting with somebody, or you're on this job that don't make you happy. The goal of everything I'm saying is you have to practice your fallback game. You have to make it times 10, maybe times 100, depending on what it is, because you have to protect yourself. You don't have to be in fear. Live your life, get to know people, explore, travel, make friends, make love, do whatever, pleases you, whatever floats your boat. But Spirit is saying be mindful of consistently showing up where you are being tolerated and you're not being celebrated. You are worthy of more. You are worthy of so much more. Okay? So much more that with the Six of Swords, it's time. It's time for peace. It's time for you to only be involved with people, places, and things that serve you for your highest good. That has that reciprocity and not a one-way street. The same, love and balance and admiration that a person gives you, you giving that in return. Okay, we're not talking about a one-way street here. But this energy here is about someone or a group of people who just don't want you to be you. Like, honestly, they don't want you to be you because you being you is leading to all the things that they desire to be. They desire the Ten of Pentacles. They desire the Six of Cups. Someone possibly, being interested in them, and talking about them. And I wonder what happened to the collective. They were such a great person. And I miss being around. And as I said earlier, someone could be speaking positive about you and you don't even know it. People you haven't seen or dealt with in a while. And it's okay. You may not deal with these people, but there's currently someone that you are around, family, friend, or coworker. I'm picking up them three situations who don't like who you are. And that could be risque. And it's about this. It's the harmony you possess. It's the abundance, the prosperity, and the harmony that you possess. It's natural. They look at you as the shining star now in the sun energy. Your aura, your conversation is high vibrational. You could be someone who's very fluent in multiple. You know how to speak all kind of foreign languages. You speak English, you speak Spanish. You're very smart. You don't mind learning. You're a sponge. You could also be someone who's able to have a lot of engage and adapt to many different environments without being intimidated. Your confidence shows, and it's not arrogant. A person just from talking to you or observing you, you're standing chest out, shoulders abroad. Okay, you're not hunched over. You're not looking down at the ground. That kind of energy. You're someone who's grateful. As I mentioned earlier, you're grateful for life. You're grateful for all things. And that is what keeps, the sun shining on you. Okay? I'm going to keep the star card down and got the tatas out. But that's what keeps the sun shining on you. It's the fact that you know how to be grateful and it's not fake. You have your moments in life. No one is perfect, but you deal with them differently. You're not throwing your laundry, as they say, your dirty laundry, posting it on social media. You're not in somebody's comment section trying to fulfill a void or keyboard thug. You're not a keyboard thug. I'm just using that as one of the examples. You're not someone who complains. You make the best of whatever's going on. You're like, you know what? It's going to be all right. Something to give. And you keep going. You're not out there putting your business out there for the world. If you're dating someone, you're probably, most likely, you're the type of person, you're not posting who you're dating online. And if you're married or you have a living spouse, guess what? You're not posting that online either because you're going to protect. You're protecting what you have. You're protecting who you are, all that you are building because Spirit is saying that there are people who want you in this energy. They want to project onto you so that you'll be that one that falls over. This is representing projection. So you will be that one that falls over. This is what they want, but no weapon formed against the collective will ever prosper. Okay? You're not into the pettiness. You're not into it. You don't care about the gossip. You're not geeked and ready to have hours of conversation about who's sleeping with who, or you feel like, look, that's none of my business. I'm trying to figure out my own life. I can't be worried about other people. I'm trying to figure this out for myself. Okay. I wish you well though. I wish you well, even if you don't wish me well. Okay. So with the Four of Swords here, it's time to be at rest, surrender, be at rest so that you can be your best. We got the death card up here in the upright. This is representing the transformation needing to take place in your life as the catalyst. And this has been your confirmation, not a coincidence, that that is one of your gifts. We are born with several of them. And from time throughout your life, it's activated. Whenever source, whenever the divine wants to activate it, it's activated. Um, you know, uh, you could be around a total stranger, and it doesn't always have to be people you know. Okay, you can be around a total stranger and they need to learn a lesson, or spirit wants them to see something, and they'll send you somewhere. Okay, whether it's a store, whether it's a place of business, doesn't matter, so that this person can learn the lesson or get the message. Okay, I hope y'all get that. I hope y'all catch that. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so with the Three of Wands energy, this is the energy of growth. The Three of Wands, and being in the energy of expressing yourself, self-expression, you're doing this very confidently, okay? You are standing in your authenticity. That's why the gate is always open. It's like you're moving forward, you're progressing forward. This is what people see. You're constantly, being yourself, standing in your authenticity, and it's like they are watching. This is how they feel about you, collective. They are watching you just move forward. You may be showing up to Thursday night or Friday night to play cards with them, whatever, game night, or maybe you meet at the bar, and so what's been going on this week? And you're that one in the group, you have something new going on, and they may receive that as collective, a show off. No, you're not showing off. You actually have something new going on. And unfortunately, you can't share that with people because people don't like progress. They become offended because it reminds them of things that they desire. It should inspire them, but oftentimes it just doesn't. Not with everybody. There are people who become angry, disturbed, and want to become hostile. And that's what this energy is. You can't stop being you. That's what I'm picking up. They want you to stop. Like if the collective gonna keep coming messing with us, they gonna have to stop progressing. They gonna have to stop being confident. You better stop doing your hair. You want to hang around us. You better stop going to get a haircut, man. You always ironing your clothes. Like real talk. You ain't had to put all that on to come over here. You didn't have to put all that on. Come over here. You ain't have to do that. I just said it's a gathering. You had to do all that. Oh, when you buy them? Oh, that's the new ones, huh? What they hit you for? When you get them? I see you. I see you. Then they take a sip of their drink and give you the fish eye. Type ish. Do you really want to eat from them people's house? Do you really want to drink with people like that? Come on, feel it, feel it. Feel the vibration. Ooh. These could be people who believe in numbing themselves, with different vices, because they don't want to deal with themselves. So they rather numb themselves. Okay. They're trying to avoid. They don't want to hear about no progress or nothing positive. That annoys these people. This gets on their nerves. It disturbs them. It disturbs them. Overindulgence. Like I said, someone could be overindulging, okay? Trying to numb the pain, numb how they feel about themselves, okay? And meanwhile, you are, madly in love. You're happy. You're content. No one wants to see that either. Whatever your relationship status is, whether you're married, single, living, spouse, dating, whatever, you're always happy. You're always in love, People can feel it. They know it. They know it. They can feel it without you even saying anything. You could be someone who's expecting a child, okay? And very happy about it, proud of it. Maybe you're shopping, celebrating. You're in a happy place. You're not angry about this. You're in a happy place. Male or female, you're excited about this new addition to your life. And this is what it is. This is what you're doing. You're doing adulting. You're doing adulting here. You're being responsible. Now, I know this is normal. You're like, that's normal. That's what I'm supposed to do. But they don't like it. They don't like it. They want to hear about you being in some form of distress. And you may say, I do go through things, but you're not letting it out in the open. And it's not that you're hiding. It's nobody business what's going on with you. And that's why you're able to land on your feet when you do experience, because you know how to adulting. You know how to be responsible. You know how to put first things first. You know how to move in silence. You know how to manifest as well. You know how to keep people out of your ish. You keep these people shooketh because you've always got something unexpected, something new. I just said you always have something new going on, and they're like, really? They just did what? How they do that? How they afford that? That kind of energy. How they afford that? You even got people pocket watching. They want to play detective in your life. This could be family members, friends, co-workers, lovers, exes, old friends. They want to play detective. They're looking to dig up dirt and they can't find any. With the sun out here, the star card out, they can't find it. They can't find it. The Six of Swords, the Ten of Pentacles, the sun, and the star, they can't find it. They can't find it. And that's intentional. That's intentional. So go ahead, enjoy being passionately in love with your partner. Okay? And be MIA, decline those invites and work on, severing ties because this person or this group of people wants you to change who you are. And that's quite weird that I'm picking that up. They desire for you to stop being you. They want you to stop caring about your appearance. Stop caring, about yourself. Period. That's that's freaking weird. That's weird. That's weird. Someone is looking. They could be on social media looking for something, maybe to, slander your character, defame who you are, make you look bad. Okay. These are people who have a lot of energy on their hand, and they're in this lack energy because there's a misappropriation of their energy. They're giving you their power the more that they focus on you. The fun fact about a hater, the more a hater focuses on who they assume to be feeling defeated by, you are really empowering that person. And that's why that star card and sun card is out here. That's why the 10 of Pentacles is out here. That's why the gate is out here. Opportunity and prosperity will continue because the collective is doing what they're supposed to do. And the more you project unwarranted energy, you will increase the ability and the opportunities in their life for progress and success. And so continue doing nothing but make sure you work on severing ties with this person or these people. If this is someone at work, make sure you have no conversation with these people, or this person. Okay. Yes, take the high road. Be unbothered. Because whatever their reason is for wanting you to stop being you is none of your business, and it would take too much time in a day and too much away from you. This is a them problem, not a you problem, collective. This is a them problem. This is something deep rooted. This is something that they have to be in agreement of addressing, and it's between them and source. Okay, that's what spirit is saying. And this is a solo thing. This is something that has to be done privately, individually within themselves. They have to realize and acknowledge what they are doing is wasting their time. And they're also giving their power away, and they're missing out on opportunities for themselves. You can be overly invested and miss out. Yes, you can. It's like, let me give you a good analogy. It's like cleaning up, doing the dishes, and having a movie on, or I tell you what, having a good movie on. You go to the kitchen, you're like, I'm gonna just wash these little dishes up. By the time you get back, the movie is almost at the end. You done missed the good parts. Okay, you can miss out. It's just an analogy that just crossed my mind. Okay, I don't know. So maybe you're doing dishes while you're watching this video. But either way, yes, you could have a new love interest entering your life as well, and you don't need these people tainting, the endless possibilities, that are entering your life. Okay. So, have no ucks about it and just move forward, without these people. New people will enter your life for you to be friends with, hang out with, make memories with. You're never alone. You won't be alone, but you want to be mindful of the company that you keep, collective. You don't want to just allow yourself to have that seat filler mentality. And that's when you're choosing to deal with anyone just because you're bored or it's the weekend or I ain't got nothing else to do. You don't want to carry that seat filler energy with you because a lot can go on, having that kind of perception of life. Okay. No one wants to experience intentionally the ups and downs. Life is enough by itself. And no one wants to deal with any extra negative energy if we can avoid it. The goal is to maintain a high vibe. It says good vibes, living to the fullest and enjoying the present. Good vibes, living to the fullest and enjoying the present moment. And so, in order to be present, one must be focused and mindful on a daily of where their energy is going. And that's not something hard to do, it's not something stressful. It's easy, it's something that's easily managed. It can become a natural habit that is beautiful and very healthy for you. Just when something isn't for you, doesn't fit, quit. Keep going. Bye bye. Bye bye. Yeah. These people are very salty, very envious. And it's not for you to figure out. Often people want to, there are people who are, not want to, but there are people who are aware that they're dealing with people that feel this way about them, but they want to figure it out and have conversations. There's no conversation needed. As the late great Maya Angelou says, when someone shows you who they are, simply believe them. They're letting you know who they are, how they feel about you, and where you stand. There's no conversation need to be had. Believe them and let it be. Let it be. Yes, 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 yes. So I trust and hope that this reading assists you for your highest good. Later.